Every single time you hop online, you're diving into this gigantic, invisible universe of connected devices. It's kind of wild to think about, but it raises a huge question, right? How on earth do you protect a world you can't even see? That is genuinely one of the toughest nuts to crack in cybersecurity.
I mean, really think about it. How do you draw a map of something that's totally invisible? How do you figure out what's plugged in, what programs are running, and, this is the big one, where are all the weak spots? Well, that is the exact problem that a tool called Nmap was created to solve.
And that answer, of course, is Nmap. It stands for Network Mapper. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as a digital map maker, a cartographer for the online world. What it does is pretty cool. It sends out these tiny little signals, we call them packets, across a network. Then it just listens. It waits for the echoes to come back. And by piecing together all those responses, it starts to paint a super detailed picture, a map of what was once totally invisible.
And look, this isn't some shiny new app that just came out. No way! Nmap has been a tried-and-true workhorse since way back in 1997. It was created by a guy named Gordon Lyon, who goes by the handle Fyodor. For decades, literally decades, this has been the go-to tool for network admins. It's grown and evolved to become a foundational piece of modern cybersecurity.
Okay, so that's the what. We know it's a network mapper, but let's get to the why. Why is this thing such a powerhouse? What makes Nmap an absolutely non-negotiable tool for anyone who's even remotely serious about defending a network?
Really, it all comes down to its sheer versatility. The best analogy? It's the Swiss Army knife for any security pro. Seriously. You can use it to get a complete list of every single device on your network. You can use it to run a deep security audit and proactively hunt for those weak spots. You can even use it to keep an eye on your most important systems, just to make sure they're still up and running. It's pretty much the first step in almost any big network job. All right, so how does this whole digital mapping thing actually work? Let's pop the hood for a minute and take a look at the different methods Nmap uses to actually go out and probe a network to build that map of its.
The easiest way to wrap your head around this is with a simple analogy. Just picture a network as this massive building, and it's got thousands and thousands of doors, all with numbers on them. In the tech world, we call these doors ports. And behind every single door, there's a specific service running. Maybe it's a web server or a mail server, you name it. Nmap's job, at its core, is to be the person who walks down the hallway and methodically checks every single one of those doors. Is it open? Is it locked tight? Or maybe, is it being guarded by a security guard? That's our firewall.
Now, Nmap has a few different ways to check those doors, and each one has its pros and cons. You've got the TCP Connect scan. Think of this as a loud, confident knock. Knock, knock. It works, it's thorough, but everybody in the building knows you're there. Then there's the send scan, which is way more subtle. This is like quietly, gently jiggling the doorknob just to see if it turns, without ever actually opening the door. It's fast, it's sneaky. A UDP scan, that's kind of like shouting through the mail slot to see if anyone answers. It's for checking on those less common services. And a ping scan, that's the simplest of all. It's just like glancing at the building from the outside to see which rooms have their lights on. It just tells you who's home, which devices are active. Okay, so knowing which doors are open is great. That's the map. But that's really just the beginning. The real magic of Nmap, where it becomes so powerful, is in taking all that raw information and turning it into something you can actually use. Real security intelligence.
See, Nmap doesn't just knock and run. If it finds a door that's unlocked and open, it can actually peek its head inside. It tries to figure out not just what program is running in there, but, and this is so important, the exact version of that program. Now, you might be asking, why does the version matter? Well, it matters a lot, because if Nmap spots an old, outdated piece of software, that is a gigantic flashing red flag that there's probably a well-known vulnerability just sitting there, waiting to be exploited.
And this is where Nmap goes from being a map maker to a full-blown detective. It has this incredible feature called the Nmap Scripting Engine, or NSE for short. With the NSE, Nmap isn't just passively observing anymore. Oh no, it becomes an active investigator, running all these automated scripts that are specifically designed to poke and prod for thousands of known security flaws.
And the best part? The process is super straightforward. You basically just tell Nmap, hey, run these vulnerability scripts for me. It then goes off and automatically tests every service it discovered, checking them against this massive database of known weaknesses. And what you get back is a nice, clean report that says, here are your security holes, go fix them.
It's like having your own personal automated vulnerability hunter on call 24/7.
But we need to talk about something really important now. A tool that is this good at finding security flaws is, by definition, incredibly powerful. And that power brings us to maybe the most critical point we're going to discuss today, the fact that Nmap is a dual-use tool.
The people who made Nmap and the entire security community are crystal clear about this. You don't even have to look far. Nmap's own documentation says it perfectly, and you've probably heard this before. With great power comes great responsibility. Use Nmap ethically and responsibly. It's the guiding principle.
And this slide right here shows you exactly why that matters so much. You can have the exact same scan result, the same piece of data, and it can mean two totally different things depending on who's looking at it. A security auditor looks at that open port with an old service, and their first thought is, whoa, we need to patch this right now before something bad happens. But a malicious hacker, they see the exact same result and think, jackpot, an unlocked door, an easy way in. The tool itself is neutral. It's all about the intention of the person using it.
So, let's be absolutely clear. There are some hard and fast rules here. Rules you just can't break. Rule number 1, you must always have explicit, preferably written, permission before you scan any network that you don't own. I'm serious. Firing off unauthorized scans isn't just bad manners, it could be straight up illegal, and you can bet it's going to set off every security alarm they have. This is a tool for protection, and that is the only way it should ever be used.
When you boil it all down, what Nmap gives you is an unbelievably detailed map of the digital world. But here's the thing about a map. It doesn't get to choose who uses it. The map isn't responsible for the journey the explorer takes. So now that you know the tool, now that you understand its power, the real question is, how will it be used?